Parish President remarks and report. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. We'll go ahead and start with Willowdale Boulevard. That project is coming to a close. Contractors were out there today installing the posts that will hold the guardrail up for that project. So as you know, and as we put out over Facebook and our emergency alert system, the intersection of Willowdale Boulevard and Highway 90 is closed this week. But again, crews are putting the finishing touches. Guardrails, striping, asphalt are going to be done in these next few days, and we will be glad to see it back open full time. Remember, this project was to add the addition of a right turn lane for cars to make this intersection more efficient. Okay. Public Works ditch maintenance. Public Works crews have been working throughout the parish to ensure our ditches are in tip-top shape throughout the height of hurricane season. You can see crews here measuring ditches, ditch bottoms, to make sure that the proper grading in depth allows for water flow. Wastewater Department training. Our Wastewater Department employees require training that is required by the state. So 24 of our wastewater employees recently completed their 32-hour examination review course, where they gained some insightful and valuable experiences alongside other wastewater employees from surrounding parishes. Again, this is a requirement that is from the state. The Louisiana Department of Health wastewater collection and treatment certification are required for our employees to work around sewage effluent. Future Desalman's Boat Launch Road update. As you can see, there's a major canal crossing that was just completed. The contractor is going to start pumping sand into the impoundment area this week, raising the launch height to the levee and making it much safer for people who are going to use that boat launch in the future. Otherwise, they would have to back up a ramp and then back down a ramp, which would not be fun. So there is going to be a time that's going to be required for all of that sediment to compact, and we will have better information on how long that it will be exactly, but we know it's at least a year or more that it's going to have to compact. But we don't think that's going to slow us down from getting the water side of the boat launch started and under construction. We are still planning to launch boats at the end of 2025. Waterworks emergency repair in Norco. Recently, they had a water main break near Clayton and 5th Street in Norco. Some of our Waterworks employees jumped into action and quickly made that repair. I want to thank all of the people who were present who got that done. That's Randy Fonska, Dwayne Williams, Roscoe Commerdale, Joshua Austin, Thomas Mitchell, Karen Mott, Alex Fonseca, Nashawn Williams, Greg April, Raymond Hicks, Mason Boyer, and Lyndon Uze. We really appreciate these guys for always jumping in. I'm going to tell you, this is a situation that happens more often than people realize. I saw this after Hurricane Ida. These guys worked incredible hours and did stuff like this to get that water back up and running. And I want to address real quick. A lot of people will ask us, well, why don't you turn the water off? Why are they in the hole? We are pumping that hole out. You can see there's a pump in the background there. You can see a hose coming out of it. If we turn the water off and water inside that hole goes back into our pipe, we are now under a boil water advisory. So we take pride in never having to do that. Always knock on wood, like some of the surrounding parishes that we see. But our guys are not afraid to keep the water running. And look, boil water advisory, and nobody has water, including businesses, which is a big disruption. So for this really actually relatively minor piece that they had to replace, they actually showed it to me, really small, they got it done, and we appreciate everything that they do on a daily basis. And all of our employees, what they do to jump right into situations and get things done. We have a lot of dedicated employees here at St. Charles Parish Government. Okay, continuing on with Waterworks. Our East Bank Ida repairs, I know I kind of talk about this every meeting, but you're seeing some progress here being made. So the storage building that was destroyed during Ida, that was just a slab the last time I shared these photos, has walls and a roof, and it won't be long before it's complete. This is going to be a 3,600 square foot storage building. So we're going to store pipe, valves, other other types of tools necessary for our guys to do their job on a daily basis. Moving over to the courthouse, second floor renovations are coming along as well. You're going to see that there's going to be some scaffolding off of the west stairs of the courthouse. This is going to be allow for the rehabilitation of the roof above the staircase. There's going to be electrical, HVAC, and plumbing work that's going to be in the ceilings, plus the installation of a new drop ceiling. If you saw what we did on the first floor a few years ago and put in the new drop ceiling, got rid of the old 70s styrofoam ceiling that they had up there, it's gonna make it match. And obviously the work that is being done in the sheriff's office on the first floor and the clerks of court office on the first floor is ongoing as well. We're expecting that to wrap up in December. All right, hazard mitigation plan meeting and survey. Our Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness is working to update our hazard mitigation plan for 2025. We have to update this plan every 5 years with GOSEP and FEMA, and it's to outline our risks and vulnerabilities to natural disasters. Obviously, because of projects that we have completed since then, those risks and vulnerabilities are changing, and we think for the better. And we hope to, at the next 5-year review, whenever that takes place, that our risks and vulnerabilities will be lower again. Each parish in the state has a hazard mitigation plan, and GOSEP has employed the help of the Stevenson Disaster Management Institute at LSU to assist each parish with their plan. There's a survey for the St. Charles Parish residents to fill out online that helps our experts and the experts who were hired by the state complete the plan. It only takes a few moments to complete, and we appreciate the public's input to update our plan before our May meeting. You can take the hazard mitigation survey, you can scan that QR code, and I think we put some information online as well. All right, Bethune Park groundbreaking. I appreciate all of the council members who joined us at Bethune Park last week as we officially are underway with completing the overhaul of Bethune Park. Phase 1 of the project is going to include basketball court, pavilions, new lights around the fields, new fencing, sail shades that cover the bleachers, improved drainage and signage in remembrance of Bethune High School. It is a historical site in this parish. The first phase of the project is to be completed at the beginning of 2025. And with a generous donation from Shell Norco, phase 2 of the project will occur immediately after that, which will allow us to cover the basketball court and provide some accessible playground equipment and covering. These additional amenities will be installed again after the completion of phase 1. Continuing with recreation, we have recently partnered with NFL Flag / RCX. Our flag football league will have a new look and feel this year thanks to the partnerships between Parks and Recreation and the NFL Flag Football Association. Players will wear NFL branded jerseys with team logos, and coaches will have access to practice materials, training, on-field resources like play formations and rule books, as well as health and safety guidelines. We do want to make sure our coaches know that with this partnership, there is a few rules changes to flag football, so we want to make sure that they pay attention to that before games start. But the partnership allows for players and coaches to really have a more immersive experience on the field, and it also allows lower registration costs for families to participate, which is always a good thing. Moving on to RSVP. Last week, we had our RSVP volunteers from St. Charles, St. John the Baptist, and St. James parishes gathered in Lutcher to celebrate a thank you for the volunteers and their hard work this year. St. Charles Parish has 104 volunteers that attended the luncheon, and the following volunteers were recognized as individuals with the most hours given this year: Antoine Billiot, Therese Fauché, Bobby Laverne, Betty Muller, Perry Muller, Janet Owens, Red Roussel, Steve Slowinski, Albert Tomplay Jr., and Renelle Troxler. So we want to thank all of our seniors who participated, not only in the thank you reception that they had in Lutcher, but also recognize the volunteers who had the most hours. We have Clear the Shelters Month. Our animal shelter is one of over 1,000 shelters nationwide participating in Clear the Shelters Month to try to connect residents with pets in need of a home. Adoption fees per pet are less than $100, which is quite a bargain considering all the vaccinations and preventative care that goes into finding a pet a home. And to view animals that are adoptable through our shelter, you can visit www.bit.ly/SCP adoptions. I'm going to just read that one more time. www.bit.ly/SCP adoptions. Procurement auction. We have a procurement auction that is open now through the 28th. Again, we do these as many times as we can to clear out old equipment that is no longer being used or necessary. We want to thank our procurement office, especially our coordinator, Thor Dufresne, for the work that they do, making sure that this equipment is auctioned off and out of our yards. Election commissioners are needed. As you know, we have a big general election coming up in the fall. So the clerk of court's office is holding a training session for residents interested in becoming election commissioners. Those who are interested must be 17 years of age or older, registered to vote in St. Charles Parish, and able to fill out forms and vote without assistance. For information on becoming an election commissioner, please call 985-783-6632, or you can email elections@scpcoc.net. That's elections@scpcoc.net. That concludes my report, but Chairman, I wanted to just recognize a couple people in the audience. We have Jake Benoit from Senator Kennedy's office, as well as Doug Sheremy from Governor Landry's office. Thank you all for being here today as well.